Hi guys, I'm at the launch of the 2023 Kia XCeed. Now regular people will know that I have reviewed the car back in 2019 when it was actually launched. So what's new for 2023? Well, you know what? I'm going to go find somebody that can tell us exactly what's new on this car. Just bear with me.
My name's Neil Spratt for Kia UK. Just wanted to introduce you the new XCeed Facelift 2023. Today we're looking at the new GT Line S version, new to the XCeed. As you can see, we've got an exciting new spirit green colour, and then we also have the new updated bumpers on there with a new dark chrome grille setup on there. Again, updated headlamps with integrated fog lights as well. As we move around to the side of the car as well, we've got new dedicated GT Line style alloy 18-inch alloy wheels, with dark accents on your wing mirrors and roof rails. On being GT Line S, we also have the panoramic roof you can see here. And as we move around to the back, again you can see updated rear bumper setup with rear diffuser and dark chrome, and also for GT Line S and GT Line we have honeycomb rear tail lamps. Okay, so just wanted to show you the updates on the interior now as well. So first of all, we have the GT Line sports seats. This has the suede and leather interior with the white piping, sport inspired gear shift and D-cut steering wheel as well, being GT Line S. This version also has wireless charging, USB and USB Type-C as well down here for you. We also have an updated thinner bezel on the rear view mirror, and again we have a 12.3 digital cluster on the GT Line S, and updated software on the infotainment system. So on the GT Line version we have the aluminium pedals here for you, and also we have JBL sound system, 8-speaker sound system, along with memory seat setup as well on the interior. Okay, so this one comes with the 1.5 turbo petrol engine, 158 brake horsepower. Again, the whole lineup comes with that engine with the manual transmission. It is also available in a 3 PHEV 1.6 naturally aspirated engine too.
So let's have a quick look at the boot whilst we're here. It will be, oh, it's powered. There you go. This is the GT Line, of course. So good spec on this car. Underneath here is quite a bit of space actually. Quite a bit of a nice little cavity where you can put a couple of squashy bags and stuff like that, plus all the tools, tire repair kit. There is your floor, and then it also has, of course, split folding seats. Plus, look at these. Hey, I might give those a try later on. You've got 12-volt power supply, and you've got a hook. You've got a strap to hold things down, and another hook there. Cool. Let's get into the back. So here we are inside. Oh, nice little thud on that door. Did you hear that? Let's do that again. Whoa. Kia has come a long way. So nice little thud on the door. Here I'm in the back. Now the car is running. The reason it's running is because the seat does that thing where it'll, if I turn it off, it'll move back, which will encroach on this space. So now I've set the driver's seat for my driving position, 6'2" with long legs, and I've left it on so that I can come and sit behind the actual seat as it is set for me. The foot space is a little bit tight. In fact, legroom is a little bit tight back here, so for longer leg people, it is a little bit tight. So I've got to be honest, if you have a family that is on the taller side with long legs, you might want to rethink it, or put them in the car and see if they fit. Generally for normal size people, should be fine. But for me, it's a little bit tight. But you know what? It's doable. This is digging into my back, but that's no problem. Put that up, and actually that's quite comfortable now. It's got a panoramic roof, which is closed at the moment on this. Over here it's got 2 vents, so that's quite good, and it's got USB. It's the USB-C, the smaller one. A nice bit of suede seating here, nicely done. So it's part leather, part, well, I don't know if that's genuine leather, but part leather, part suede effect there. And you got your armrest with the 2 cup holders that goes up, Isofix child seat anchor points. Otherwise, all nice, all good. Headroom's good as well. Time to get in the front. So here we are inside the Kia XCeed, and you know what, actually I think I have to just move the backrest a little bit further back. There you go, that's a bit better. So maybe a little bit more encroachment on that rear space, but all straightforward in here. So you know, and of course we've had Neil talk us through all the changes, but just quickly, you know, you've got your USBs, both of them down there. You do have this very nicely damped, look at that, very nicely damped cover. You've got heated seats, look at that, nice buttons there, heated steering wheel. You got your climate control, big old screen, that's pretty cool. You got your digital instrument panel, lots of remote controls on the steering, flat bottom steering with the GT line, buttons down here, manual on this car, cup holders, brake there, and a pretty deep cubby box actually, as well as a decent glove box. So there you go, and of course these wonderful seats with the GT line trim, suede and leather. Pretty good. Let's take it for a drive. Okay, so here we are in the Kia XCeed. Literally have just moved off in the car. Very light controls. On this side, okay, cool. Visibility is good. I've had to adjust the seat again a couple of times, so it takes a while to actually get the right position. And I have moved the seat back a little bit, a fraction, but then I moved the back upright again, so it should be all right now. All right, so oh wow, okay, so what was that? That was 3.5, was it? I just want to see what that was. I want to slow down again because that was interesting. Just like it sort of, the torque really came in there. So just around 3,000 is when it comes in, and you get a little bit of a nudge there. So it's not, I wouldn't call it laggy or anything like that, but just like, oh, okay, we're moving now. So that's quite nice actually. Nice sort of raspy, rorty note to the engine, so that's pretty good. And yeah, pedals, this is not a sports car, so don't expect it to be one. I mean, it is a family car. It's a bit higher than the Ceed, obviously, because it's the XCeed. So it just sort of to give you that little bit of a better vantage point, a little bit more ground clearance, which, you know, in some circumstances could make all the difference. So, you know, definitely one to consider. Nice bit of torque, we're moving. And, you know, nice weighting on the steering and good positive reaction as well. Actually pretty good grip. It's a little bit slippery this morning. It has been raining, although it's dry at the moment. The sun's coming out. But definitely feels quite positive on the steering. And actually, it's one of those cars that it doesn't necessarily, you know, it's not a sports car like I said, but it doesn't necessarily disappoint when you get it out onto roads like this and you want to check it around a little bit, and you'll be like, yeah, it's alright, yeah, that's fairly entertaining, you know, you can have a little bit of a laugh with it, you know. So this one again has got a very nice feel to it. It's a little bit notchy, but has a nice sort of throw to it, nice sort of damped feel about it. It's got a very grown-up feel, let's put it that way. So that's pretty good. So just thinking about the visibility, the rear window is a little bit small, and the C-pillars, the pillars at the back, are a little bit thick. So that restricts your view a little bit, but don't forget, you know, this has cameras and stuff like that. The mirrors are good, and generally it's fine. Out the front is no problem, and you can actually see a little bit of the bonnet and the fender curving in as well, to again give you that chance to really place the car as you want to. So that's all really helpful. So not too much of an issue, and of course, like I said, you have that vantage point because you're a little bit higher in this car, so that's always helpful. The clutch is very light on this car, and that's a good thing and a bad thing, because good because in traffic that's really nice, but bad because sometimes that biting point is not so well defined, and I've struggled with it just a little bit, but I think it's one of those things that you'll get used to the more you drive the car, but otherwise not really a problem. The steering weighting is actually really good. It firms up nicely, especially when you're chugging along. Gives you, I mean, I'm not going to say it gives you feel or anything like that, but it gives you pretty much that kind of reassurance that the level of response and accuracy is there, so there's no doubting what the steering is going to do or how it's going to behave or how it's going to respond to your inputs. So we're giving it a bit of welly, if you like now, see how it does. There's a gear indicator on there. What I've had to do is I've turned the lane keep assist off because the impact it was having on the steering was actually quite obtrusive. It actually does move the steering, so as soon as it detects you're too close to the lane, it will move the steering away from it. So I was finding that annoying, so I found a button over here and I've turned that off. The gear shift, still struggling a little bit with the notchiness on it, but getting used to it. Now this thing has 158 brake horsepower. That gives it a little bit of wheel spin there. That gives it 0 to 62 miles per hour acceleration time of about 8.7 seconds and a top speed of 129 miles per hour. Fuel economy, there's a meter on the instrument panel right there at the bottom, which shows you how much you're doing at any one time. Unfortunately, I've been in the higher zone most of the time at the moment, but overall you can get 44.8 miles per gallon out of this car, which is actually not bad at all for a car of this type. CO2 emissions 143 grams per kilometer. So let's talk a little bit about the ride of the car as we're stuck in traffic now. And it's actually really grown up. Again, it's really good. It's very well damped. You get a little bit of a thud, you know, over bumps, but they're not loud, they're not obtrusive, they're not harsh. They seem to be very well damped, very well controlled. Also, it follows the composure of the car, despite the fact that it's a little bit higher than for example, the XCeed. But again, the composure, you know, when you're chucking it around a little bit, it's actually very well controlled and it's very well settled. So again, not sports car, not firm, not too soft or wallowy, but actually very well judged and quite nicely done. So how important is this car for Kia? What does it mean to them? You know what? I found somebody else that can tell us a little bit about that. Let's go find out.
Hi, I'm Dan Sales. I'm Head of Press and Public Relations for Kia UK. I know that Shahzad has been giving you an overview of how the car drives and how it feels, and our product expert Neil has given you some information on the spec of the vehicle. But I'm going to give you a little bit of background on the XCeed family and what this car means to us and you. So the XCeed family is a family of 4 variants, 4 body styles. You obviously have the hatchback 5-door, you have the XCeed, which is a beautiful shooting brake vehicle, you have the Sportswagen, which is ultimate practicality mobile, and of course this, the XCeed. Now the XCeed, when it was first introduced in 2019, suddenly became incredibly popular with you, the customers. Thank you very much. In fact, now the car accounts for half of the XCeed family sales on an annual basis. So that's in 2021, which accounts to about 7,000 cars on the road. So that's fantastic for us, and you often see them driving all over the country. And so the new XCeed, updated XCeed with the new GT line trim and the updates to the interior and software and all the rest of it, comes obviously with the petrol and the PHEV version, which makes it quite popular with fleet customers and retail customers. And fleet customers, the sales are about 70% in favour of the PHEV. In terms of the petrol version, the 2 grade, the entry is about £23,500 to get your bum in one of these seats, and that obviously comes with all of our excellent quarterly offers, and at the moment you can check those out on our website. In terms of ordering, obviously that's a bit of an issue for every manufacturer at the moment, but if you bought one of these cars, you wouldn't have to wait too long. It's a new vehicle, and it's being produced in Slovakia, so it gets to us a lot quicker. In terms of delivery dates exactly, you'd have to speak to your dealer, but of course we'd get it to you as fast as possible.
I'll tell you what, I had a little break there and I turned the stereo on, and wow, that's a good system on this actually. Nice bit of bass, nice bit of depth to it. Really good. Okay, now we're motoring a little bit, picking up a little bit of speed. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So, conclusion and verdict. What do we think of the Kia XCeed 2023? Well, I think it still remains a very good car and remains a great option to consider if you're in the market for this sort of size, this sort of segment, and this sort of price range. It makes perfect sense. A couple of things I would point out: if you are or your family are on the taller side, just give it a test drive if you can. I know that there's a limit on the number of cars available these days from dealerships for people to try out, but if you can, put your family in it, put yourself in it, take it for a little drive and see if you're comfortable in it. The other thing to consider is the manual gearbox. If you want the manual, again, take it for a drive first. I think it's a little bit notchy, the clutch take-up is a little bit fiddly still, but I think that most people will go for the automatic anyway, in which case you're absolutely fine. So overall then, I think it's a big thumbs up for the Kia XCeed. Remains a highly competitive and competent car in the market. Definitely one to put on your shortlist if you're looking for something like this, and if you're looking for something in green. See you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit the like button and share this video as well if you can. And while you're at it, check out these guys who also sponsor my content. I am deeply grateful to them because it helps me to buy new equipment, put fuel in the cars, and yes, buy a cup of coffee. You can do the same. Just go here or right here on YouTube. Just hit these three little dots down here and click on thanks. Make sure you're signed in first. My content is free, but this is how you can help me keep it that way. I may even send you a gift. Oh, by the way, watch this next.